Our plan is to have her speak and follow that with questions from you. And to ask a question, we're going to ask at any point for you to put it in the chat box, and education curator Anthony Shostak will gather those, and at the end we'll ask Nikki about them. Upcoming programming. Well, first, let me say that we're so disappointed that due to the pandemic, if you're off campus, we won't be able to welcome you into the museum this year. However, we look forward to sharing many programs and activities online, available through our website. Please visit the site, look around. There's a lot going on, and there are a lot of resources there. And if you don't already, please consider following the museum on social media. And if you would like, sign up to receive the Bates Museum of Art news, which you can do off of the webpage. One of our activities, for example, is we just posted our first reader video who responded to the Ashley Bryan Storytime Challenge, Governor Janet Mills. No relation, by the way. So take a look on Facebook or Instagram, and you can see the really amazing piece that she chose to read, which we're so thrilled about. So yeah, what I thought I'd do is, instead of having you look at me and talking about the exhibition, how would you like a preview? Let's see, a show of hands, virtual hands. Okay, so I'm going to walk the computer around. Give me a moment. And okay, so join me. Are you seeing my image large? Yes, no, yes? Okay, great. So here we go. This is a mural we made out of a beautiful blackbird in the entrance. And the floor has beautiful blackbird stickers to encourage social distancing and suggest how to travel. As you can see, we have some amazing paintings, prints, books, a video of Ashley reading Beautiful Blackbird, and some of the original artworks for his many, many books, a reading station, and his many, many books. And what I can tell you is that everything you've seen, but for one painting, is a gift, which we have a huge thank you to Henry Isaacs and Donna Bartnoff Isaacs, who are here tonight in this Hollywood Squares grid of people. Thank you so much. And the one painting that is not theirs, thank you to Mary White, who I know is here also, for lending that. Yes, please. We'll do so really quite amazing.
Okay, so you should be.
So we are making a virtual exhibition, which should be up by November 1st, which you'll have an opportunity to essentially walk through the architecture of the space and also look at individual works of art on this platform that we're putting together. We'll shoot it tomorrow. So please stay tuned and dial in for that. Okay, rather than look at my office, we'll go back to that lovely background. One moment. So I have to, seems sort of, we're all learning how to do Zoom events rather than actual in the flesh events. And at this moment, I have the embarrassing moment to ask if Nikki Giovanni is in the house.
In the house. I'm here.
You are, okay. Let's see, oh, there you are, hello.
Hello, how are you?
It's so great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I
Oh,
just
thank
gave,
you for inviting.
what's that?
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. I'm not sure when you came on, but I just gave a little bit of a walking tour, and would like to say a few words of introduction before turning it over to you.
Please.
Okay. So the other thank yous, I just thanked and will thank again Henry and Donna for their extraordinary gift to the museum. Over 50 works, and it's really amazing. And our aspiration is to build on this incredible body of work and really have a center in a museum in Ashley's home state of Maine for a large number of his works. So we'll keep you posted on that. And I would also like to thank Indigo Arts Alliance in Portland and Diverse Bookfinder here at Bates for their partnership and supporting our programming in relation to this exhibition. Okay. This evening's program. I have the distinct honor of introducing the amazing Nikki Giovanni, renowned poet, writer, and so much more, and great friend of and collaborator with Ashley Bryan. Giovanni has so many accomplishments and honors. I will share but a few and encourage you to visit her website or link off of our event page. There's a link to her website for more. Born in 1947 in Nashville and raised in Cincinnati, Giovanni graduated from Fisk University in 1967 and later also attended the University of Pennsylvania and Columbia University. And she got right to work. In 1967, she organized Cincinnati's first Black Arts Festival, and within a year self-published her first two books, Black Feeling, Black Talk, and Black Judgment. By the mid-70s, Nikki Giovanni is recognized as a leading poetic voice for books of her work, as an editor, speaker, and a frequent voice in the media on BET, A&E, and across network television. In fact, while doing a little research, Nikki, I recently watched a clip of you and James Baldwin from the early 70s on Soul, a television program that you were deeply involved in.
Right.
She has won dozens of awards, including a Maya Angelou Lifetime Achievement Award, American Book Award, Rosa Parks Woman of Courage Award. In fact, she was the first person to ever receive this, and 7 NAACP Image Awards. Giovanni has published well over 24 books, including the award-winning Love Poems in 1998, Quilting the Black-Eyed Pea in 2003, The Collected Poetry of Nikki Giovanni in 2008. And Nikki Giovanni and Ashley Bryan have been collaborators on the books Rosa in 2005 and I Am Loved in 2018. Her most recent book is Make Me Rain, Poems and Prose. And when I say recent, I mean it came out on Tuesday, okay? Please join me in welcoming Nikki Giovanni.
Oh, thank you, Dan. I'm so delighted to be with you. Ashley is one of my very, very favorite people. And I was so pleased when you invited me to be a part of it. As you know, probably, maybe others don't, he slipped last week, and in falling, he put his hand down to break his fall and broke his wrist. And of course, as a painter, that was a terrible, it is a terrible situation because he can't paint right now. And so he's been calling, which is great for me because I know his voice. So he'll say, Nikki, it's Ashley. And I'd say, if it's two voices, I know my granddaughter's voice because she'll say, Grandma, Nick. it's Kai. And I'm saying, how many granddaughters do I have? One. So that was easy. And I know Ashley because how many friends do I have like him? So it's very, and I'm hoping that he will allow himself to heal, because the main thing that we all know for any bone breakage is to let that bone, is to rest. But any painter, as we know, wants to paint. So this gives him, I think, a chance to just really just relax and do some daydreaming. And I hope that it works out. I have a story I can tell about Ashley, though. The first time I went to Maine to visit, he lives, his home, as you know, is right there on Alsford. And I went up, and it was wonderful, because getting up to Alsford, I live in Virginia, is a long, it's a long ride. But I liked it. I liked going because it was so, one, I could take the train, which I did. I drove over to DC, to Washington, and then took the train to New York, and then the train from New York up to Maine, and then up to, what is that, Kennebunkport, and then you take uh, the boat. You take the boat over, and the boat goes to thunk, thunk, thunk. So you're very nervous when you get there. And he was there to meet me, and just wonderful. And he took me out to dinner, and we talked and laughed and everything. And it was great. And there's a room in his house that is now no longer there. It's what I call my room, because when I go up, that's where I stay. I have a painting of what I call my room. It's hanging in my home, and he's got the window. It's got the yes, the stained glass window, and so it was really great. And we, the women mostly though on the island spoiled Ashley, and the next day we went out and we went to another restaurant. There's not but a couple of restaurants on the island. And we went to another restaurant we had, and I met his friends and everything. And that was really nice. But on the third day that I was there, he said, "Oh, darling," you know how he talks, "Darling, I think I'll cook." And I said, "Ash, I thought you couldn't. I thought you couldn't cook the way everybody takes care of him." So I took a photo of it, and I have it. And I said, "I'm going to blackmail you with this photo because because all of these women who cook for you think you can't cook. And I now can show them that you can." He made me some salmon. It was really wonderful. His house, as you know, is great when it's open, but he's got that airplane that runs from one end of the living room to the other, and you can pull it. And I just think it's wonderful. And I said to him, "Ashley, how can your house isn't locked. Why isn't it locked?" And he said, "Well, if somebody wanted to break in when I'm gone, they could get in anyway. So why would I lock it?" And I think that's his attitude about his heart. I think he also feels that if somebody wanted to break his heart, his heart is open. And so you can get in. It was, and it is, and it remains my pleasure to have worked with Ashley on a couple of on a number of projects. But the one, and I don't know if you can see it because I'm not good with Zoom. I heard you talking about Zoom. I've been listening to this, and I'm learning Zoom too. And probably in the next 20 years, I will learn it. But he and I, the latest book that we did was called "I Am Loved." And Ashley, as you can see, it's so wonderful. It's just kids, but Ashley actually named it. He said, "Oh, you know how you talk. Oh, darling, why don't you send me some poems and I'll illustrate?" And I said, "Ashley, I would be thrilled that you would want to illustrate some of my poems," which I am. He's a great illustrator. He's a great painter. And I said, "Oh, I'd be thrilled if you would." And I just sent a bunch of poems. I had written a bunch of poems. I sent some poems, and I said, "You pick whatever you think you would like to write." And he is the one actually who decided to name the book "I Am Loved." And if you see the book, and I'm sure you have, one of the things you'll see is at the end, the last poem is going to have, and I don't know if that's going to show up either on the screen, but it's got the mirror. So when the children read this, it's a poem I wrote. "I am a mirror. I am a mirror. I reflect the grace of my mother, the tenacity of my grandmother, the patience of my grandfather, the sweat of my great grandmother, the hope of my great grandfather, the songs of my ancestors, the prayers of those on the auction block, the bravery of those in Middle Passage. I reflect the strengths of my people, and for that alone, I am loved. And I loved what he did with it, because when a child reading this, if it goes this way, a child reading this then sees him and herself. And of all of the poems in this book, most of the children say that's one of their favorites. They get right to the mirror and they say it's one of their very favorites. And it's one of their favorites because Ashley puts so much love into his work. He has always, what he does with his work, he loves it. And he loves the people who look at his work. And you know, he wakes up, or he used to, now he's in Houston with his niece, with Vanessa. But when he was home, which he will be again, when he was home, he would wake up in the morning and go to the beach, and he would pick up anything that was on the beach, some rocks, some shells, anything that he could find on the beach, and he would take it back, and he made puppets. And I don't know if you've shown the puppets. I didn't come in in time to see that, but he made these wonderful, wonderful puppets. And I just thought, oh my goodness, they are so great, and they are. And I nagged him, actually, would be the term. And he finally sent me a puppet. And so I have a puppet, and my puppet is like me. He said the puppet is always talking. So that's my puppet. And I just love how he responds, because I wanted very, very much to write poems. I wanted to write a poem for Ash. And this is one of his birthday poems. When rainbows laugh. When rainbows laugh, it tickles the sun, who drops jelly beans on strawberries run. The bluebirds fly down to pick up the leaves, and being well reared, they always say, please. And cumulus clouds who are watching the scene fog all the way down to sneak all the green lemon lime drops they can find. But something is wrong. The clouds can't stay green long. They are white or pink or gray. While washing their hands, they wet all the lands, and everyone scurries away. The butterflies and baby birds and moths and little skunks too, all run to stay dry till the clouds pass by and the rainbow comes into view. The rainbow laughs and it tickles the sun, and sunbeams come out to play, while Ashley smiles and pulls out his brushes and paints all the colors all day. And I like that, because I always, and I'm glad he was kind enough to say he liked it, but I liked it because I don't write many poems that rhyme like that. But what I liked about it was I could just see, because Ashley used to sit in his backyard or in his meadow, and he would paint, the colors. You've shown so many of the colors, the one that's in your office. He would paint all of these colors, and they were so, they were cheerful. They just made you smile. It's worth it. I'm 77 years old, and I was laughing. It's worth it to have a birthday, because Ash sent me, he would send a note, or he would send it, and one of them, I'm in my kitchen right now, and so I cannot show it to you, but he sent me a painting with all of the flowers. And I love flowers also. So it was just wonderful that when I come into my kitchen in the morning to get my coffee, I see these flowers that Ashley made for me. And you feel the warmth, and you feel the cheerfulness, and you feel the happiness. I think that poets have words. And I was trying to think of how to put that together. Poets have words, and that's really all we have. Poets have words, and we try to put our feelings into words. We try to put our expressions into words. We try to put what we have learned into words. But painters can take paintings, they can take colors, and they can take something. I was just out here a minute ago watering. It's really weird right now, the weather. And I was out watering some of the flowers, and there were a couple of bees out. And I thought, oh, because I thought about us, that I was going to come and be able to talk to you. and be able to talk, I hope, to Ash. But also, I thought, oh, if Ashley were here, he would see that bee as I did, eating that the sweetness of the flowers. And the bee wasn't afraid of me, nor I of us, of it. I don't know if it was a boy or a girl, but it wanted to, because it's coming, night is coming for us. It's getting to be dark. And I wanted to get the water. My latest book is a book entitled Make Me Rain. And everybody kind of laughed with me and said, well, why would you want to be rain? And I'd want to be rain for a lot of reasons, because whatever is living, and that's your painters, that's everything. It all depends on the water. So I would love to be rain, because I can be rain. And then when it gets cold, I can stick my tongue out and I can be ice on my tongue, or a little bit of snow. And when it gets to be winter, I can have a lot of snow, and it'll be on my deck, and it'll be on my flowers that I have there, and they will embrace it. And then spring will come. And if we didn't have rain, we couldn't have spring. So everybody likes spring. I don't dislike spring, don't misunderstand. But if I had my choice, I'd be rain, because it's rain that's going to keep everything alive. And it's going to be painters who are going to paint and show us that. And I think we're just so lucky to have painters like Ashley, who embrace this world that we live in, who find the wonderful colors, who find the love and the joy in what we live in. And I'm just so lucky that I know him. I was amazed when I met him that he actually had read my work. You never think of someone as great as Ashley Bryan having read your work. And he was saying, he mentioned a couple of poems that he liked, and I said, you've actually read me. I was quite surprised. And he was like, well, yes, darling, I read you. And introducing, which it's been my pleasure to do, introducing Ashley to other young writers, to my good friend Kwame Alexander, who is right now stuck in London with his family, with his son and his wife and daughter, and they can't get out because of the COVID. So I've been sending things to London so that Kwame can see what Ashley is doing. But Ashley did an interview with Kadir Nelson, who is also a really beautiful illustrator. And Kadir, of course, Ashley didn't have any way to get it because he's in Houston. So sending those things down to him is such a pleasure, because all Ashley, I think, has wanted to do is bring some love to the world. His book, which should win everything, if not that we care about winning prizes, but his book, Infinitely Hope, should win everything. It's the most beautiful book. And it's the only book that we have on World War II of the Black soldiers who were stevedores, who were the ones who were the second ones. The first ones, as you know, to go on the island were the white soldiers, because it was during an era of segregation. And of course, they were shot down. The Germans were waiting for them, and they were shot down, and they were mowed down. I mean, it was like they were grass. And so the army knew, we cannot send anyone else for these dead bodies. If we don't do something, nobody else will go, no matter how brave they might want to be. And so they sent the stevedores on land to bury the bodies. And so this is what we're going to look at when we're looking at Infant Hope. It's going to be the beginning of World War II. And Ashley continued to draw, no matter where he was, no matter what kind of paper he had. He drew. Sometimes he had paper, and sometimes he had toilet tissue.
Did you know that Ashley has joined us now?
Hi, Ash.
Hi.
Yes.
Oh, it's such a beautiful book. And I've sent it to everybody I know. It's a history. I teach at Virginia Tech, and that's my dog going crazy. And the cadets did not know the story of the Blacks in World War II. And your book, And that's why I wanted to give it to, I gave it to the general and asked him, which he did, I want you to share this with the cadets, because they should know the history of who people like you are and what you did
Yes.
to show. And Eva saved, you know, your friend Eva saved all of your letters. And
Uh-huh.
I do the same thing, Ashley. I save your letters. I have all of your letters too. And it's so wonderful. That is such a wonderful book. And I'm so glad you have
Thank you.
share that. Oh yeah, it's so wonderful.
Yeah, it meant everything to me to get it out.
Yeah.
Well, Ashley, we're so delighted that you're joining us this evening, and ask everyone to join me in saying hello and thank you.
Hello, hello.
I say love to everyone.
Jen, I'm going to call Jenny because she's back,
Yes.
and I know she wants to say hello. Jen,
And,
Oh, yeah.
that's
and Ashley, would you like to say anything?
Hmm.
but
Would
I
you
know
like to, would
Well,
you
it's such a joy to be with all of you, especially hearing our dear love. Yeah, Nikki.
oh no,
Always love knowing she's there.
oh,
I feel everything she speaks is poetry, and that's why her book is of her life, because her life is poetry, and she just puts those very words down which she speaks. And everyone says, they say, how could that be a poem? It's my life. It's so direct, but it's so wonderful to have it. Mhm.
but see, that's the way
It's such,
that is the way I feel about you. Everything you do is everything you do is some painting, and it's so wonderful because every time something comes, I know we're going to have this, and it's going to be warm, and it's going to be loving, and I just think it's so well. I just think you're so wonderful,
yes,
and I'm so
good.
I haven't been able to get down to Houston. I haven't been anyplace since March, and
Oh, yes,
and we're a little tired of being home.
good.
You can't get out.
Yeah.
I don't want to get on the plane. So, you know, that I think about.
Well, we go along day by day with what comes up as the challenge of the day.
Yeah.
But there's always the magic and mystery in every moment, even now. Speaking with you, it's all such a wonder. I say I can't get over the magic and wonder of the letter D in the word Wednesday. The big D. To me, already, I'm at the heart of the mystery of language. You know, to make a poem, the magic and mystery of a letter D in the word Wednesday. Wednesday.
Oh,
And when I looked at that, it struck me as such a miracle that that letter could spell the word Wednesday.
Wednesday.
And I can't get over it. I keep going over, trying to get past that mystery of it.
No, you're right. I hadn't thought about it that way. You're absolutely right. But it's like looking, I look at my painting every morning. I say, when I come for my coffee and I'm sitting, you can't see, but it's the first thing I see in the morning. It's so wonderful.
Oh, good.
It
That's
makes,
great.
yes, yes, it does.
Yeah, there's nothing to be than being restored each day by what we love. You know, it's always new.
That's true.
See it as if we're seeing it almost for the first time.
That's true. You know, my neighbors,
Yeah.
my little 9 and 6-year-old neighbors have sent you drawings. So they wanted you to know that they're thinking about you because they love your book.
Good.
They are loving it. Come and say hello to Ashley. No, it's not. Jenny just said, how did Ashley get there? Because he's magic.
Hi, Ashley. Hi.
Now, can you see her, Ashley? Yeah.
Yeah. Hi there. Quiet.
Can you see Jenny?
Hi,
I don't know
Ashley.
if we're
Good. Hi. Good to know how we keep each other going, either by presence or thought.
Good.
Is he a part of this?
Oh, he you know, it's so amazing. I'm beginning to learn Zoom, and probably in the next 30 years, I will have understood it, because learning to, Jenny does most of this because she understands machines, and all of my machines hate me. So I can't do it, but I'm beginning to learn how to do it and how to have some appreciation. But I'm so glad. I mean, it's such a pleasure to see you and to see that you're doing well.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Well, my niece Vanessa, she does everything. She's like one of those angels, special assigned. There isn't anything she can't pick up on, whether it's technology or something like cooking or playing with a child. She can do it all.
Well, you're very lucky to have her. You're very lucky. And I talk to Sandy every now and then, your nephew in New York, not frequently, but every now and then he'll call and I'll check on him. So that's very nice to make sure that the family is okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, there she is. I see you, Vanessa. I see your hand.
Hand me the puppetry magazine, Vanessa.
Yeah.
I want to just hold it up. Puppetry International just came out with this,
Oh, how wonderful.
and it opens out.
Oh, how wonderful. Is that going to be,
It just came out.
it just came out?
Puppetry International magazine,
Oh,
and that's the cover of it.
oh, how wonderful. That's great.
Yes,
That is great. So it's an international magazine.
it's the International magazine of puppetry of the world. It's called Puppetry International, and every month or so they do a magazine about the puppetry throughout the world.
Okay.
And they focus on my work in this latest issue.
Oh,
I love the cover because it has the whole lineup of the puppets.
that's, I was just talking about your puppets because you used to walk on the beach and you would pick up the
Yeah, the
and
shells, the bones, the branches and pieces of things. Everything is so suggestive and nice. You just start out and you can't keep up with it. But you do what you can, you know.
oh, but you make such beautiful things out of, for lack of a better word, nothing. Something will just look like a piece of rock or a piece of shell or a little bone,
Yeah,
and you'll put them together, and then we have something really beautiful and something really friendly and something that we can take and want to hug
Yeah.
and be close to.
Yeah.
It's the wonder of you. It is the wonder of Ashley.
Oh, I'm trying to match the good and creativeness that is given to the world in everything I do, to say thank you for the inspiration of all that's been created in the world, you know.
But you do a wonderful job, and everybody
Oh,
is very happy that you're here.
oh,
Everybody,
that's wonderful.
everybody.
Good. Yeah.
My I tell you, machines hate me. It goes in and out. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh,
But it's
uh,
so wonderful to have you be able to come into our talk. Dan, it said,
yeah,
yes,
good. I'm glad it's set up like that.
I am too. It's such a great surprise to see you.
Oh, good, Nikki.
And
You look beautiful.
oh no, I'm hanging in, but I did tell the secret that you know how to cook, because a lot of people think
That's so wonderful. I can cook.
yeah, you can.
So I got to get this hand back so it can really work.
Take your time. Just
Yes,
take your time. That's
yes,
you know, Jenny had a bit of a problem with her breathing, and I tell her the same thing. Just
yes,
take your time.
yes.
Do what
It takes its time.
it does,
Yes,
and it's okay because it lets you dream. It lets
yes,
you, as a writer, and I'm glad nothing is and I'm doing okay right now. But as a writer, when
yeah,
anything appears like that, then you
yeah.
have a week or so that you can daydream because you can't get any.
Yes,
Yeah, and that's really great. Good.
and you can read.
That's very nice. Yeah,
Yes.
very nice. So it's good. You know, just do what Jenny teases me because I am a good patient, and I am. I just do what they tell me, and I don't try to think it through. And of course, Jenny, and I tease her about that, but she always wants to decide. You know, I said, no, you have a PhD. He has an MD. So you follow what the MD says.
That's good.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth.
Yes.
Is Vanessa going to stick her head in so that we can say hello to her?
Vanessa, take a look and so they can say hi to you. Can you
There
get
You
it?
see me here?
No, yeah, come around in back of me, I think.
Oh, she wants to come around and back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's Dan. Dan's got all of the pretty flowers, so
Let's
that's
see.
very nice.
Hello.
Hello.
Are you in it?
There's
Hi,
I'm in it.
Vanessa.
Hi, Didi. Oh,
There's
good to see you.
Ginny
Good to
and
see you. I'm
You.
trying to take care of him, but he does all kinds of things, you know, to keep
I think that's
active.
artist.
Oh, you see, and I have not been able to use my right hand, so I hadn't shaved for weeks. And this morning she took to shaving me, and that's how you can see me with a
That's
clear.
great.
It was like it was all grown out.
Looking
Yes.
good, looking good.
He's doing well. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
He is. He still has a good sense of humor and a good
Oh,
spirit
yeah.
with him about everything.
Well, you like to
everything.
keep I like when a little 2-year-old friend woke up one morning and said to his parents, you know, Ashley is my best friend. And I said, a little 2-year-old kid, you know, and another little one, the mother in the morning would get him ready for the day. He's a grandson. And she'd get him ready. And when he was ready, first thing he says, Ashley, 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 because his bedroom was in the house near a bedroom of mine. And so when she got him dressed and ready, he said, Ashley, Ashley, so he could come to my house and play with my toys and things like that. Because I love that. Ashley, Ashley.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, y'all take care now. Be blessed.
Nice to
Stay
see you,
safe.
Vanessa.
Oh, hello, Dan. I just see
Hi.
you there in the
It's-
corner.
Yeah,
Good
it's nice
hear
to
and
put a
see
face
you.
to your voice.
Yes, you were
Oh.
calling when I was trying to get all of this going.
Well, I like seeing the painting in back.
Oh, it's very
All right.
nice, isn't it? Very.
Well,
Good.
Nikki,
Okay.
would you take some questions?
Certainly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anthony, would you field that?
I keep track, by the way.
I'm okay.
Yeah, no, I keep track of your weather because I worry about the weather coming into Houston. So I just want you to know.
So we'll take questions what I can
Yeah,
handle, Nikki will pick up on.
yeah.
So you go ahead.
All right, Dan, I'm sorry. I just wanted to actually know I'm watching over.
So our,
Go ahead.
our first question is,
That's a good one.
will you have any more collaborations planned between Ashley Bryan and Nikki Giovanni?
Oh, I hope
I
so.
do hope we'll do more work together as we're living along, because I always look forward to working with Nikki. And so I do hope when I'm home again in my studio to find some project that we can develop together.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, Karen.
Good question.
Good
It will encourage us, Nikki, to know we have
Oh,
to keep going on.
I'm very excited, Ashley. I just talked to Caitlin the other day, and I sent a poem up to Caitlin to ask her what does she think about it. So I hope that you will like it. I hope that she will like it and you will like it, and we'll work on that. Yeah, for sure.
Taking out the hearing aids.
Those questions are for Nikki. Can I mute him? Okay.
get them.
So I have a question while Anthony's doing some others. This comes from an unnamed person, which says, Nikki, asked Nikki to read The Reason I Like Chocolate. She can do it the way Ashley reads it.
Oh, I don't know if I
That's from
can.
Donna.
I actually don't have it in front of me. I have, wait a minute, it may be in I Am Loved. I make a point, and I'm always laughing with my students not to read, not to reread their work so that they can go on and make mistakes. And so, of course, I make mistakes. The reason I like chocolate, though, is one of my favorite, but I'm not sure that Ashley, because Ashley chose these. And so I will blame him. If it's not in here, I'm gonna blame Ash. I don't have it here. I'm sorry to say, and they are, yeah, I don't have it in here. I'd have to go look. I need to do what Ashley did with his home. I need to put another room on the house because we're out of space. And I need to do what you did. I need to put a room up on top so that I can have a library. Because right now, my living room, you can't, Jenny complains, but you almost can't walk through it. And when people come to visit now, they have to come through the garage because the living room just has books. So I think next summer, when it's not raining, I think I'm gonna have a room put up there so that I can put another garage in, because we need the room. And I love books and I don't want to let any go. So that's what, but I don't have it here. And by the time I found it, we'd be out of time. So I apologize. But Ashley reads it very well. So he probably reads it better than I do.
RG Nestor asks if Nikki or Ashley have any words for the teachers and students of Maine who need to, or how to stay strong during this time of the pandemic.
I think the main thing, at least for me, I've been in, I was just saying to Ashley, because I had planned to come down to Houston because he was going to be interviewed by my good friend and his, Kwame Alexander. And we got stuck at home. I shouldn't say stuck. Kwame is stuck in London, and he's hoping to get home soon, but he's still working. I'm here. He always,
Yeah.
I'm here. So I don't, I think the main thing to do with any poem is to embrace it. And I'm a space geek. And one of the
Very important.
yeah, it's very,
Right. I tell the children, you must work to find your voice in the printed word of the poem. And I remember there was a principal at a school that I visited, and the principal said to one of the mothers who was with him, do you know, I called my son down to dinner last night. He said, I can't come yet, Ma. I'm finding my voice. I talked to them about finding their voice in the printed word. Then the poem is yours. When you can really speak it, bring it alive. I can't come, Ma. I'm finding my voice.
I love
I love that.
I think
So I would tell them, look for the sound of the voice in the printed word, and that will keep it alive.
I couldn't agree more. And we have to remember that poets and poems are like songs. And every time we sing them differently. So sometimes in a good mood, we're singing it really da, 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 and then sometimes in a different mood, we sing it a little slower. And it's the same song, but we handle it differently every time. And that's what I like poetry,
Yes. Because there's always the feeling of the mood that you would like to bring to what you are saying this time. And it's never the same twice. So it's always exploring and discovering. Yes.
Like that's true. It is exploring and discovering. I like that very much.
Yes.
So one of our audience members says that, Nikki, you described Ashley's sculptures as friendly, and she says that's such a wonderful word. How do you go about making poems friendly, or do you?
Oh, I hope I do. I like my poems. So the first thing that happens is I am writing is that I have to like them, and I do. And I think that people forget who you're writing for. So the first person you're writing for is yourself. And I say that all the time to my students. You are your first reader. So if you
Yes.
remember that, as you read it, it has to please you. It has to make you smile. Or if it's a love poem, it has to make you, you know, giggle.
Yes.
You are your first audience, and you have to pay attention to yourself. I think that that's
Yeah.
what's important. Pay attention to yourself.
Yes.
So another,
Yes, the more we bring attention and put some of the effort to the person, when they think it's all out there to be given and done for them, and when you remind them you are the one who has to bring this alive, so you have to make it work,
That's right.
not something out there.
That's true. That is very true.
Yeah.
You are the rain. That's what I've been.
Oh, yes.
You are the rain. Thank you. Jenny just bought, thank God. I see, the reason I like chocolate.
Oh, you go ahead.
The reason I like chocolate is I can lick my fingers and no one tells me I'm not polite. I especially like scary movies because I can snuggle with mommy or my big sister and they don't laugh. I like to cry sometimes because everybody says, "What's the matter? Don't cry." And I like books for all those reasons, but mostly because they just make me happy. And I really like to be happy. And this is from Vacation Time from a long time ago. I don't know if you there, we can see it. It's before I met you, Ash. And we've got the Vacation Time, then it's illustrated. And I like that. And thank Jenny can find anything. So, so she found it for me. Thank you.
there's another question. It says, you've talked about how Ashley takes found items and makes art, puppets, with them. Don't you do something similar with your poetry? Can you talk about your process and inspiration, please?
I think the main thing that I try to do, and I look for them, yeah, I guess that would be it. I pick up pieces, odd little pieces and little funny things well, the reason I like poetry, or I have a poem in here, Pickled Prickles Don't Smile. And I don't even like pickled prickles. So I'm laughing at it because I used to like pickles, and I don't know what happened to me in pickles, but we fell out. But you're always taking some little thing that you like and you're putting it together and saying, well, what can it do? Or what is it saying to me? And you have to listen. Poets, and I don't know, Ash, you can answer that. I think that painters see, but poets have to listen. And we listen to
Yes.
little things that we pick up,
Yes.
no matter what it is.
And when you see there are all sorts of things that happen that surprise you, that may be quite evident right there, sitting in a room with others, and you notice how the color of one's dress and the other's suit, what they do in opposition to each other or in conformity with each other. You're always recreating your experience. You know, however it may seem to be set, you are then recreating that moment, that scene, you know, and that's what makes it so exciting. No matter where you go, you know, you're going to have that adventurous challenge. Yeah.
That's true. And that's what makes you poets, that's what you painters, that's what brings it all alive. That you do
Yes.
those things and you bring something different. And I think
Yeah,
that's
and you try to find the answers in ways for which they'll explain things to you, but actually it's not right. There's so much more to it than that. It's like my sister, she had two daughters, And one of the daughters one day asked her about how a baby's born. Now, my sister was a nurse, and she didn't want to say like they were born in the cabbage patch and things like that. So she gave her a child's explanation of the process of being born. And when she finished, the little one, they had a little dog named Tops. She said, when Tops was a baby, was he in your tummy too? So the little one thought that everything that was in the world came from her mommy's tummy, like she, who was a baby, formed in her mother and came to her mother. She thought the little puppy dog in the house, which was alive, had also come from her mommy's tummy. And so everything in the world had my mommy had given birth to. I like that way a child tries to understand the immensity of experience.
I love
Yes.
that. That is funny. It'll take her a minute to get used to that one, but maybe she's right. You crack an egg, if you don't have a yolk, nothing's going to live. So, that's the truth. You're standing outside, Dan. Or is it Anthony? Somebody's standing outside. It's beautiful. The moon is there.
That's just it's just a background.
Oh, it's lovely.
Nikki, there's another question that came in. Could you or Ashley talk a little bit about the prophetic voices that artists and poets bring to their community?
Say it again.
What did he say?
Say it again. I didn't hear.
Repeat the question. Why is it that artists?
Could Nikki and Ashley talk about the prophetic voices that artists and poets bring to their community?
You have nothing that's more important than your prophetic voice, because everything is all dead and gone and used and not important. But what you're projecting, what you're seeing, and really, in a sense, religiously opening up again, is at the heart of everything. Because when they say in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and everything's come from that beginning word of Genesis. I mean, what more poetic and mysterious can be stated? Yeah.
I couldn't agree more that that's what we do is we go forward because everything else was yesterday. And there's nothing wrong with yesterday. You learn, or you hopefully learn from yesterday. We'll find out on November 3rd if we have learned anything from yesterday, but that's another discussion. But you do go forward. And in going forward, we go forward with our dreams. We go forward with our hope for human beings. We go forward we embrace tomorrow. And I think that's what I think that's what we should do, not be afraid. Most people who are afraid, most people who are cowardly, most people who
they want adventure.
They are afraid of tomorrow. They're not afraid of yesterday. They're afraid of tomorrow.
Yes. No, my dad was raised in a British school in Antigua in the West Indies, and his teacher was reciting the charge of the Light Brigade. At one point, it says the teacher said, "Into the valley of death rode the 600, cannons to the right of them, cannons to the left of them, cannons in front of them, volleyed, thundered. Was there a man of them afraid?" And my dad jumped up and said, "I to every blasted one of them, every blasted one." He took it so directly as a teacher talking to the class, but the poem got him. So that's what a poem can do. He was so in that poem, and he was so one of those soldiers, one of those 600. And with all that was going on, he was going to be brave too. Was there any of the?
No, you go forward. You have to, because tomorrow is all we have. Yesterday is past. We go forward. Oh, Olive entered the room. Okay.
You can be so in it, it can be so real to you. you feel yourself being addressed so directly, even though it may be a class of 20 or 30 people. It can be so much as if it's just you and the teacher speaking the poem.
That's it, very true.
Yes.
And that's all we do. We're going forward. And I think we're hoping. I think hoping is important. I think we have to continue. Somebody asked me recently, well, why do you hope? Well, if you don't hope, what else do you have? What else are you going to try to do if you don't have hope? Then there's no reason to continue. But we all hope. It's what human beings should do.
Does anyone else have a question for Ashley or Nikki?
Violence, that's a question. Yeah.
I think, Anthony, that you can do this. Would you like to unmute Henry and Donna to say hello?
Ooh.
Yep, just give me just a moment.
So there have been about 100 and almost 130 people listening this evening.
Oh, good.
Isn't that
All
great?
right, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope they'll have a good time of each other as much as we're having a good time.
Yeah.
Hello, Ashley.
Hello, Ashley.
Hi,
everyone.
It's Henry
these are
and
my
Donna.
old Islesford family.
Hello.
All through the years, they've collected my work, and now they've given it all up
Well, that's
to
where
the
it should be.
college. Well,
Yeah.
that's good. I'm so glad you feel that way about it.
Well, that's where it had to go. It had to go back to
Good.
Maine.
Yeah. It's nice to know it will be there. They've been
Absolutely.
working that out.
That's right.
Okay.
And you have to get that crazy hand fixed so you can make more.
Yeah.
And Nikki, thank you for kicking this off.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad. I haven't been back to Maine in a while. I have a student there, Shannon Carter, and she's
Oh, yes.
a nice and really nice kid. And she's working on the political thing right now. I just sent her $100 and told her I was really sorry that I didn't have more. Every now and then you wish you were rich. And you do. And I thought, oh, I wish I had more money to send to Shannon because she's working very hard on the political thing. And that's a part of tomorrow too. And when you see your students taking to heart some of what you hope you have taught them about being courageous and going forward and not being afraid of tomorrow, you're very proud of it. So I'm very proud of Shannon. I really am. And I look forward to coming back to Maine because one, you got the best oysters and lobsters in the world. So, and I love the trip. I was talking about it earlier, Ash. I don't know if you were on the line, but
Oh, we heard you.
yeah, it was so wonderful. I like trains. I've always liked trains. And to get on a train and to be able to relax and to look at and I'm not against airplanes, but to be able to look around at the landscape, to look at what's going by. I think it's so wonderful because you get in a plane and you have to sometimes. You go in someplace, you get in, you go up, up, up. And I like clouds. I talk about clouds a lot, but you finally get above the clouds and you don't see what's there. But you can look if you're on a train, you can look and there'll be a rabbit running across the field. Or right now, of course, we're here I live in Virginia, for those who don't know. So the groundhogs are beginning to make a home. And so you can see, I can see where they are. And my dog, who's, as you can see, is a crazy, nutty dog, but her name is Cleopatra. But it drives Cleo crazy because she can smell the groundhogs, but she's a Yorkie. And so the groundhogs are larger than she is. So she knows that she can't do anything about it except bark. But yesterday, a squirrel came on the deck. We have a playpen up here for her. And a squirrel came up and Cleopatra ran after it, and the squirrel jumped on a tree, and Cleopatra forgot that she wasn't a squirrel, and she about ran halfway up the tree before she realized, oh my God, I am not a squirrel, and she fell down. I
Well,
was sorry for her.
well, Nikki,
patted
here's
her.
the thing. I've always felt that you talk and you write not only like a poet, but you talk and write like a painter. And I think when you do get back to Maine and New England, Ashley and I will start that crazy workshop again. We'll get together and we're going to put a paintbrush in your hand and you're going to paint. For goodness sakes, you've come back to Maine all those times and we've never gotten you painting. And it's about time, because what Ashley taught us all, including me, was he would always recite at the end of our workshops, at the beginning of our workshops, what Hokusai always said, right? Which was
Right.
that he would talk to God and he would tell God how good he was with painting and drawing, and he would tell God that he always needed more time to become an artist. He told God if he just had another 20 years, another 40 years, and when he was 110, if he only had another 20 years, he would be a real artist.
Oh.
So we'll all get together up there when we're 110, and we'll have a painting and poetry workshop to beat all time.
Oh,
Okay?
that would be great.
That's wonderful.
That is
Okay,
wonderful.
Ashley? Now, I heard that somebody wants you to read another poem. You pick it.
Who, me?
That's you. I don't think I'm a poet. I don't know who else is, but I think that it was your name on this thing that we roped you into tonight.
It was not a rope. It was a wonderful opportunity for
Well,
me.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
And thank you, thank you, thank you. And the only other thing I wanted to say is lots of people have been thanking lots of other people. But I want to say that, you know, we are also blessed to have you tonight. And we're also blessed to have this as an occasion to look at Ashley's pictures. But the
Yes.
really cool thing is that when Donna and I dropped all these things on top of Bates College, Dan Mills and Bill Lowe and Corey Audette and Anthony Shostak, all these folks that you guys are just meeting now for the first time, and Mary Poles, who's in that sea, all these people that you guys are just beginning to know, we got to know them really well. And Bates College Art Museum, they get it. They really get it. That place has a heart bigger than the Ritz. And I don't know how many people are listening. I bet 20 million people are listening to me spout and you be eloquent, Nikki. But this place is the right place. And I just want to say thank you to all of those guys for being our host and guide. And namaste. Thank you, Dan, and your friends.
Oh, thank you so much. It's such
Thank
an
you.
honor and a privilege for us. This-
Not for that poem.
Okay, now let's get back to the poem, Dan.
yes.
Now back to that poem. We write. It's called We Write. Writing is a frozen thought brought to paper, heated by passions tempered by sympathy, defined by facts, colored by desire. Words landing on pages, scrambling to arrange thoughts, giggle and say exactly what they want, ignoring us, the writers. Our job is to tame these words, to train them to perform properly. And should they be unable to actually do so, the job at least come to work on time and offer proper apologies when they fall short. We learn to negotiate that space between imagination and possibility, reality and probability. We mold the world into our thoughts. Our thoughts mold us into a different perspective. We seek and hide. We break and mend. We teach and learn. We write. So I thought I should end on that point. And thank you. Thank you. Ash, take care of yourself now. I'll talk to you soon. And I hope you like my drawing, by the way. I did draw. I sent a drawing to Ashley.
Oh, yeah,
I thought
yes.
it would give you a big kick because when Ashley had a bit of the virus, I drew a virus because the virus fell in love with Ashley. That's what happened there. And he was
Yeah.
out painting, and the virus fell in love with him and kissed him. And she didn't realize that she's not allowed to kiss people. And then she was very sad. And so I said that, and the virus and I love you.
Yes, love me, kiss me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Good. Well,
Thank
what
you
a
all.
joy it is to be with all of you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I'm so glad, Ashley, that you were here to join us. And
Yes, I am happy.
us too.
I'm
And
so happy that Donna and Henry worked this out.
yes. And Nikki, thank you
Oh, my
so
pleasure.
very much. And thank you and Virginia for supporting this exhibition and program. It's just means so much.
Yeah, anything for Ashley, as you know. So
Yes.
we'll see you soon then.
Okay. Well, everybody, thank you for joining us.
Thank
And
you.
have a great evening. Bye-bye.
If I could
Bye-bye.
just say a word, a lot of people have asked about a recording. We are trying to record this. That is what I think that we're doing. And when that recording is available, it will be available through our webpage. So check back to the bates.edu/museum. And when that recording is available, it should be there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thank you. And the virtual exhibition will be up by the 1st of November as well, for those of you who want to see more closely the work, the amazing collection that
Such a
Henry.
nice background.
Do you know, I know the artist who painted it. Okay, well, thank you and good evening.
Good evening. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
See you later, Ash. Bye-bye, Vanessa.
Thanks so much, Nikki.
Thank you. Anytime. I think so, but I don't understand.